Hi everyone, it's your boy Abdul Wadud Dudman, the IELTS King Kong, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at one of the popular question types, which is true, false, not given. We started in the previous session and I explained to you that true, false, not given is one of the popular question types that usually come. And so when you understand true, false, not given very well, you stand a higher chance of passing the IELTS reading test. And then in the previous session, I gave an assignment. And I'm happy that most of you did the assignment. So thank you very much for doing the assignment. So we are going to look at the answer for the assignment quickly. Now the question is that in the assignment I gave a question and I gave what was in the passage. The question is that all the science students are brilliant. And then in the passage, what we saw in the passage was that almost all the science students are brilliant. Now the question is emphatic that all the science students, all means everyone. All means everyone. So it means everyone, all the students are brilliant. But then in the passage says that almost all. Almost means not everyone. Almost means that not everyone. We still have some who are not brilliant. So almost doesn't mean everyone. But all means everyone. So the question is emphatic that every science student is brilliant, or all the science students are brilliant. But the passage says that almost all of them are brilliant. So there's a contradiction. This one is saying that all. This one is saying almost all of them. So there's a contradiction. So that is why the answer for the assignment is false. And I'm happy that most of you had the answer correct. So thank you very much. Now we are going to quickly look at two examples for this session. Now, the example one is that, assuming the question is that he is the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. I'm repeating the question. The question is that he is the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. So the question is emphatic that he is the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. Then what is your responsibility as an IELTS student? As far as true, false, not given is concerned, your responsibility is to quickly go to the passage and go and search and test the veracity or otherwise of this statement. So you want to go and check whether he's actually the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji, or he's not the first person, or that statement hasn't been mentioned, or that statement is not there at all. So you read the question, and the question says that he's the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. Then you go to the passage, and then when you went to the passage, what you saw in the passage was that as far as marrying 4 wives is concerned in Yeji, he is the pace setter. What you saw in the passage is that as far as marrying 4 wives is concerned in Yeji, he is the pace setter. Now, IELTS is an English test. So you need to understand the word pace setter, or the meaning of the word pace setter. Pace setter means someone who is doing something for the first time. You understand? The first person to do something is the pace setter. He is setting the pace for others to follow. You understand? So he's the pace setter. He's the first person to have done it. So the question says that he's the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. And then in the passage says that as far as marrying 4 wives is concerned in Yeji, he's the pace setter. He's a pace setter means he's the first person to have done it. So the question totally agrees with the passage. So the answer is what? Is true. Because we choose true when the question totally agrees with the passage. So the question says he's the first person to marry 4 wives in Yeji. And then the passage says as far as marrying 4 wives is concerned in Yeji, he's the pace setter. So they mean the same thing exactly. So the answer is what? Is true. So here, if you don't understand the meaning of the word pace setter, then chances are that you may not be able to get the correct answer. So that's why IELTS is an English test. You have to read broadly. Second question. Now before we look at the second question, I will advise you to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Turn your notification button on. So anytime we post a video or we upload a video, you will get a notification so you can watch. So now let's quickly go to the second question. Now the question says he had 70% in the test. He had 70% in the test. Question is emphatic. And I said true, false, not given are statements of facts. So you cannot assume. So the question says that he he had 70% in the test. Now, as an IELTS student, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to quickly go to the passage and go and search for where this statement has been mentioned or where this statement is in the passage. So then you go to the passage, and when you went to the passage, what you saw in the passage was that he scored the highest percentage in the test. He scored the highest percentage in the test. Now, question is saying that he had 70% in the test. But then in the passage, what the passage is saying that he scored the highest percentage in the test. So what answer would you choose? Now, question says he had 70%. Now you go to the passage, and what you're supposed to do in the passage is that you are supposed to check in the passage whether it is going to be mentioned that he has 70% or he had a different percentage, or that information is not there. Now, when you came to the passage, what you saw in the passage was that he had the highest percentage in the test. So based on what you saw in the passage, can you say it is true? You cannot say it is true because there's nowhere in the passage where it is mentioned that he had 70%. So you can't say it is true. And you cannot also say it is false because there's nowhere in the passage where it is mentioned that he had a different percentage other than 70%. So that information as to whether he had 70% or not is not mentioned. So that's why the answer is not given. So the answer for the second question is not given. Not given because question says he has 70% in the test. But when we went to the passage, there is nothing mentioned in the passage that shows whether he has 70% or he didn't get 70%, because all we saw in the passage was that he had the highest percentage, but we can't tell whether that percentage was 70% or not. So in that instance, the answer is what? Not given. Please, do you get me? So the answer is not given. So let's quickly go and look at the assignment for today. The question is, Wadud gave his IELTS class 5,000 Ghana cedis. Wadud gave his IELTS class 5,000 Ghana cedis. So that is the question. Then when you went to the passage, what you saw in the passage was that Wadud gave his IELTS class half of 10,000 Ghana cedis. What you saw in the passage was that Wadud gave his class half of 10,000 Ghana cedis. So what answer would you choose? Now, just tag assignment and write your answer. The question again is that Wadud gave his IELTS class 5,000 Ghana cedis. Then in the passage, you saw that Wadud gave his IELTS class half of 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now, let me know your answer in the comment section. Thank you very much. Subscribe to our channel and then enjoy our lessons. Bye.